Hello all, hope your season is going well. I was finally able to pick up boom cannons, and with the help of that and bombers get up to rank 19. You would think that it would be easy after picking up most of the defenses, I would say, not all of the defenses on the main path, and with bombers that would be much more easier, but certainly not really working out that well for me. The log looks clean from the outset, but if you look closely, it is pretty much a fizzle meta which is going on at the moment. So either I'm fizzling or my opponents are fizzling. There's very few full clears which are taking place now. In terms of the tech tree, I did manage to pick up the bombers late last evening and max them out. And then today morning I was able to pick up the boom cannons also, and I can now max them thanks to the rank 19 chest. Did end up wasting to tick 4 on the Krens. I thought they would be useful, but to be honest, not really. I've pretty much gone back to heavies and bomber play now. So we'll go through a few of the replays. Now, on these sort of layouts, without the sky shield, there is an option to heavy rush a few ERs. But generally speaking, I was just messing around. This was the one which was with grenadiers and bombers as well. I think I did use one boot of bombers in the mix. And I was just going to try to take 2 ERs with this strategy. I wasn't really planning to do a full clear because I knew that the rocket launchers and the boom cannons were just too much meaty enough that would not really be possible for me. My opponent, I think they did manage to fizzle, which is why I started just flaring the ERs, and this one was close. I think if I had a few more grins in front, my last bomber would have taken it down, but by that time I'd already won, so it was okay. And both of us got 2 ERs on this one. I just did a bit more damage, and that's where I started mixing it up with bombers instead. So I'm using 3 boats of bombers, 1 boat of medic, and 4 boat of heavies along with brick and will. The main sort of approach, there's 2 sort of approaches which I'm using on these sort of threats. Either I'm going to be arting out a boom cannon, or I think later on I started barting out a critical launcher instead, so that the heavies do not get stuck, the bombers don't get stuck, and I find that's probably slightly much better rather than barting out a boom cannon. Plus also I don't really have the GPE node, so don't really have too much EVE to spend. So even barting out a critical launcher is 6 artillery, which is quite a lot in terms of the GPE used. But luckily got those 2 ERs, and that was it. Next one, again, front-loaded base. I thought in one of my previous sets I had gone from the front and I got 2 ERs. This time around I thought let's try going around the back. A few lesser defenses, and probably maybe I would have got 2 or even 3 ERs if I was lucky enough. But wasn't fully lucky, but did manage to get 2 ERs down on this one. And as the bombers start to take fire from this rocket launcher, that is when I use the iron will to protect them a little bit. And then the remaining boat of heavies are starting to come through. They do obviously get too close to the rocket launcher, so not super helpful. So I probably need to see how to delay drop them better for the next time. But I was again able to get 2 ERs, and that's pretty much what is giving me the wins at the moment. And then I did manage to get 1 ER on this one. I think Mr. C had tanks and troop health, so well played to him. I fizzled out completely on this one because I tried to do a bit of a rush job and didn't manage it very well. Fizzled by both of us. He got me on percentage damage. And then a full clear hit finally. Now this one was slightly different. There's Matthew, I think, so he didn't have the rocket launcher, so it was slightly easier for me to get done. And I'm going to use pretty much the same sort of troop loadout, but coming from the side ramp instead. I was able to RT out a boom cannon and a critter launcher, which were touching each other. And over here, I was just hoping that my bombers can take out the shock blaster. And then obviously there's only one more boom cannon to contend with at the back, which would trouble my bombers, even if all the heavies die out. So I was able to take that one out, and then it was just a simple free clear to get to the ERs at that point in time. He also managed to full clear me, but I think he does have troop well, so bit of a different approach for him. And then Andy, again, going to try it again from the side ramp on this one. Going to use one heavy, one bomber from the left side, and one heavy, two bombers from the right side, and then just delay the heavies. Again, I was hoping I could just get down to clearing out the RLs and the boom cannons, which are all on one side. So that's where I changed the approach on this hit. I did try to get the bulk of the boom cannons and the rocket launchers out of the way, because he did not have a rocket launcher further back or more boom cannons. And once that was done, then it was just a case of letting the bombers free clear the base. Quite nice and easy. Nothing special over there. Then again, I'm good. On this one, I went from the bottom. I don't really know why I choose to go from bottom or the side ramp. It just varies on the layout, to be honest, and where I feel the boom cannons and rocket launchers will trouble my bombers, and whether I can get them down quickly and easily enough, or whether I will just go for like a few yards and percentage damages. So I'm again arting out the critter launchers on these sort of bases, so that the heavies can keep moving forward, the bombers can keep clearing out the defenses, and then the trailing boat of heavies, they can come in and join the fight and distract the boom cannons just that little bit more. I think again I got lucky over here that I was able to clear out the defenses while the boom cannons were busy with the heavies, and then obviously the bombers taking care of the rest of the defenses. And then on my boss fight, I thought I would probably end up losing this. But I did manage to get 2 ERs, and luckily the opponent was not able to get an ER off me. He was using Krens. And going to use the similar sort of approach on this one, arting out a critter launcher so that my heavies can keep tanking in front of the bombers. The GB definitely does get quite tight. I do end up using brick as a meat shield too while the heavies are coming up. But that's okay. As long as the bombers can get a couple of ERs done, I think that's perfectly fine. Then I'm just letting the bombers take down one of the other ERs, and then just going to use any remaining artillery to do a bit more damage and get some damage points. So not all full clears, a lot of fizzle meta, a lot of partial 2 ERs and then damage percentages. And now I think I'm going to consider probably picking up troop health, because I think if I do have the troop health, my heavies will just last that little bit longer, and I should be able to do a full clear. I don't think GB itself would get me to full clear, because all the GB would be nice. I don't think it would be a difference maker, to be honest. Or I can go down the defense route and pick up mortars, because there's quite a few people who have gone down that route as well. Let's see, because I think saving up for 5 year itself will not give me like good ways of clearing out bases. It will probably have to be Kawan and critters both, which might be required, I think. And that is 90 plus 30, 120 plus 42, 162. And if it's like 60 keys per day, that's like nearly 3 days away. So could do that, or just pick up troop health and make my chest collection slightly easier, which does set me back by a day or so. But let's see. I'll make that decision soon. Hope this was useful, folks. All the best, and hopefully you're able to collect those chests and you're not getting any -1 of 6 anymore. So good luck to you.